Hello and welcome to today's lesson. And before we commence, I want to appreciate everyone for joining in and signing up for this program. We are Chartered Institutes of Human Resource and Strategic Management, and majorly our focus is to empower, nurture, and train professionals and also inculcate in them the skills they need to be valuable and relevant while on their job. And as you all know, that our focus is on human resource, and regardless of the department you operate, the unit you work or function, you need a good understanding of human resource because the world of work is all filled with human beings. So today we'll be looking at one area of human resource management. And of course, we'll kickstart this training by focusing on the concept of employability. From the word employment, all right, we need to understand what employability is all about. And of course, every one of us needs to really know and understand this concept because it's what business owners are interested in every day. Now, what we say employability, it's all about the ability for you to be able to transfer your skills into the workplace. So, it involves factor of education, and of course, it also involves training. It involves a work enabling environment. It involves timing between the acquisition of what you've acquired in terms of your skills and your knowledge and attitude, and how you can be able to transfer it or apply it to the workplace. So, in essence, when we say employability, we're talking about the fact that what you have in terms of the skills you possess, what you have in terms of your skills, what you have in terms of your knowledge base, what you have in terms of your capacity, all right, and how well can this definitely inform how you can be able to do your job well in the workplace. So, in a nutshell, employability is all about the process of you um, doing what you're expected to do, at the right time with the right skills, in the right place. And that's why the concept of employability is multi-dimensional because it is a combination of the skills that we all, have, that of course we all learn from the four walls of our tertiary institutions, the understanding of the subject matter. For instance, you say, oh, I studied accounting. Can you be able to keep records of, or can you be able to undo financial statement properly? Then we also talk about the personal qualities, your ability to think critically and logically. How reflective are you in terms of your abilities? All of these components tell us of what employability is all about. If I tell you I studied accountancy in the university and you need an accountant, now, of course, you expect me to be able to keep the books effectively. And that's exactly what employability is all about. How well can I be able to handle the books, the financial statements, and all that based on my knowledge of accounting? So that's actually very important. Alright? So employability is actually a very important concept. And when we go a step further, when discussing what employability is all about, it also deals with the perception of a potential employee. For instance, a fresh graduate who just graduated from, for instance, the university, you know, what is the possibility that he's going to, get better employment? All right? And what is the probability that he's going to perform on that job? Is what employability is all about. I'm leaving school. The next thing is to get a job. Now, the level at which I can be able to function well is based on how I can be able to transfer what I've learned from school to that job. So employability can be taken to mean the ability of an individual to secure and maintain satisfactory employment. Issues of securing and keeping satisfactory work is the centrality of all the definitions of employability. How well can you keep what you have in terms of your job? And don't forget, when you have a job, people have spent 5, 10, 15, 20 years on a job. It's not that they don't have anything to do, but majorly because they've been able to prove their worth. They've been able to prove their ability, and they've been functional and valuable to the growth and sustainability of the business. So, you are not just employing somebody just because you like the person, or maybe because you're obligated to employ this person, but this person you are bringing in to the workplace is expected to give back to you because you are paying him a salary, and at the end of the day, you should be able to be productive. You should be able to impact value to the organization. So it's not just about you going to school. You should be able to get a job at the end, and also the ability to secure and maintain that job. All of this inform what employability is all about. And that's why it's not just about you going through school. You must ensure that you are valuable in terms of ensuring that what you know is being used effectively to the growth of the business. If somebody is not functional to that level, definitely the job cannot be maintained. And don't forget, the business world today is all about capitalism. Businesses are not charity organizations. They are not there to, give out salaries just like for the Christmas. They need to get values on their investment. They need to get returns on every kobo being invested into the business. And no capitalist, no business owner will want to waste his money or resources because he wants to be for the Christmas. He needs to get something in return. And who will be instrumental to this? It is employers. So the employees, the workers, all right, who will be there to help in the transformation of raw materials into finished goods, to help in the discharge of some duties and responsibilities, or to carry out some services to the public. All right, and once this is done, definitely those in question are regarded to be employable. So, in summary, what do we mean by employability? It is the ability of a fresh graduate to secure employment and to transfer what he has learned from school to his job. KSA there means knowledge, skills, and attitude. We did not just go to university or to tertiary institution to just learn certain skills. Now, you learn skills, you also learn attitude, behavioral patterns, because it is the behavioral pattern that will help you retain the job that you have, which you want to use the skill you have to do. Without attitude, there's no how you can be able to move on the ladder in your career. And that's why people say your attitude determines your altitude. Your attitude determines your altitude. Your behavioral patterns, your behavioral component will definitely inform how well you move or grow within the workplace. And that's why in the HR world they say you hire for attitude and you train for competency. Human beings are teachable. The fact that you can go through university, definitely you coming out makes you teachable. And that's why every organization today will still need to embark on some levels of trainings for the new recruits, regardless of whether they studied the same course they want to come and do there. Alright? So that is exactly what we mean. How are these fresh graduates able to secure their jobs how can they transfer what they say they've learned, you know, to the organization? In just a simple term, employability is about you transferring what you've learned or the skills you acquired to your job. Then, an existing employee is getting satisfaction on a job. Employability is all about getting satisfaction because you can be able to, when you perform, you get credit for it. Once you perform, you are applauded, you are being rewarded, and definitely this will drive motivation and satisfaction. Job satisfaction is one of the elements of motivation. In summary, employability is also a process whereby an existing employee is continually relevant in the organization through self development and acquisition of new skills. The world is dynamic because things change every day. The business world is not just static. We have inventions, we have innovation, we have new discoveries. Look at, we are in the world of artificial intelligence, whereby, robotics, the ICT, and what have you, are now taking over the workspace. All right, we now have remote work. We will now have teleconferencing. We now, the work today, business work today, doesn't need to have people physically present. Technology has now ensured that we can connect with ourselves from wherever we are. All right. So, how well you can be able to develop yourself within this changing environment is also another aspect of employability. How you can be able to navigate your way through, how you can be teachable. Now, you don't expect your employer or the organization to set up training programs for you. As an individual, you know your career plan, you know the path you want to follow. You can also initiate some training programs for yourself just for self development and for you to acquire new skills that will make you relevant for your job. And exactly employability is also, synonymous with that because it's about how you can be able to inculcate the skills you have. Don't forget that the skills you have today might not be relevant tomorrow. The skills you say you have now that you are bragging about now might not be useful tomorrow. So you have to be, strategic. You have to be proactive enough to see the changing conditions of our environment, of business, and definitely you forestall measures. And part of the measures you forestall is self development. How can I acquire this new skill? Because I know my company is going towards this direction. So when we get there, I can be able to fit in and align properly. All right. What better way can I ensure that I do this job well? You can go for self-development programs. We have programs online that you can, subscribe for, that you can sign up for, for you to be relevant on the job. Now, talking about employability, is also an aspect whereby employer creates the enabling environment for the employees to acquire the relevant knowledge and the skills they need to continually apply this knowledge in the light of the changing circumstances like strategies, technological change, and organization re-engineering. Like I said earlier, the world is dynamic, things are changing, and employers. Now, the previous point I made mention was about self development. Another aspect is organizations should also come up to initiate some of these training programs. They could initiate learning, programs where workers can also be able to benefit maximally from. So, employer can create that enabling environment where employees can be able to acquire new skills that will make them relevant continually on the job. Don't forget that these business owners are the ones who set the modus operandi, they're the ones who initiate the plans and the programs. They're the ones who want to, set up strategic goals for the business, and they know the direction by which these businesses will run, and they need to equip workers, they need to equip employees to be ready or to be fit when these changes or modifications come. Looking at another direction, another angle to this is that the employee will continually progress, be more productive, and satisfied with the performance. This about self um, job satisfaction. Then employees are also certified with their competence and delivery. So all of those speak to what employability is in the workplace. Briefly, let's look at the skills that workers need to possess to make them employable. That's what we refer to as employability skills. First off is communication. You should be able to communicate effectively um, in the workplace. It's a skill that everybody needs. It's a skill that everybody needs um, to possess because human beings communicate, for the world to survive. Without communication, there's no how businesses can grow. Teamwork, ability to play and fit adequately within a team. Creativity and innovation, we are not machine. We should be able to employ our innovative capacity. Then ability to learn, the use of new technology, self-management, flexibility, commercial business, customer awareness. You must know the business. You must have a good understanding of what the business entails. You must have a good knowledge about the dynamics of the business you operate, all right, so that you can be able to make informed decisions, and also problem solving and analytical skill, numeracy skill, entrepreneurship skill, and what have you. Now, when talking about employability, there are some stakeholders that are involved in driving this employability process. Now, the stakeholders in the drive towards employability is not just peculiar to you and me or to your employees. All right. Yes, individuals needed to drive these goals, most especially students who are within the tertiary institutions or who are just graduating from university. Individuals at the initial stage of their studentship need to think about the economy and the skills in high demand, then to work towards the future. You are leaving school now or you've left school now, then you need to position yourself for the demands of tomorrow. You might have left school like 5, 10, 15 years ago. It's not still not too late, all right, because the business world is changing. You can today position yourself to, a better tomorrow. We all are students in this life. We are all students in the school of life. We do not stop learning until we all die. So, and that's why philosophers say that learning starts from the point of birth to the point of death, from the womb of a woman to the tomb where we'll all be buried, from the womb to the tomb, from the point of birth to the point of death. And of course, learning takes place between this process. So, we all need to position ourselves for us to be employable or relevant anywhere we are within any business setup we find ourselves. We need to project for the tomorrow that we are going to. Project for the tomorrow you want to enter. Project for the tomorrow you want to get into so that you are not caught unawares. And when those things come, you can be able to align adequately. Not just for individuals, for existing workers as well. Self-development is key, especially for top performance. This should be maintained adequately. Also, self-development for other skills that may be required in a job in the future, and also at other units of the organization should be actualized. For you to be employable, yes, you have to be specific. You have to have a special area of focus. Alright? But at the same time, you must have a feel of other units within the organization. Take for instance, and that's why I like those banks, because going at those days, sometimes if you go to a bank, you have a friend, he or she is in customer care this month, next month she's in operations, next month she's in cash and teller. Next month, she's in marketing. So having a feel of every unit is also very important to existing workers because it helps you to understand the business setup and to also have, a feel of the other units that you are working with. Because you having this understanding will help you to be able to fit in at a point in time. You could second somebody when somebody is out of job. You could also inform you to become a manager, in the future because you have a feel of other units you're working with. Employers also need to manage the career and make career path for each job available to workers. In addition, individual workers' self development, employers should invest in training to ensure sustainable employability. There's a need for business owners to open, the room for workers to be able to develop themselves. And the ball is in the court, not just of these workers, but in the hands of, you know, managers. So, business owners or employers should be able to create an atmosphere where workers can be able to learn adequately. So, apart from this, employer also need to provide an environment where the employee constantly develop himself, renewing the skill set, and also acquire new one. Don't forget the business world is changing. And to our educational institution, lastly, they're also very, very, impactful in driving this process of employability because they're the ones who inculcate the skills in workers or in students before they go out to the labor market. So, educational institutions also need to impart required employability skills to students. Now, there should be a synergy between the town. There should be a synergy between the town and the gown. Town there means, the business environment, and the gown there means our educational institutions. Now, there should be, some different sets of curricula that should help position students well to be employable. All right. Take for instance, lecturers can give group assignments, group tasks, and that would help promote team spirit or teamwork, and also give them the opportunity to make presentations of their assignments and what have you. That should help them in the communication process because once they go out to the world of work, they will meet clients, business partners where they can be able to make presentations about what their business is, are all about. In terms of the CWES, the internship program, the exchange program should also help students to understand, real life scenario, not just you teaching them about theory. They should also have a feel of the practical aspect of it. And these are some of the things that our educational institutions can help drive employability. So, in conclusion, employability is multifaceted. We've looked at different angles to, explaining employability, and it encompasses a wide range of skills, attitude, and factors that make an individual desirable to employers. So, in today's rapidly changing job market, adaptability, continuous learning, and a growth mindset have become indispensable qualities because for you to be employable, you must have all of those things in place. So, while a strong educational foundation is important and relevant, practical experience and soft skills such as communication, teamwork, and problem solving, are equally very, very important. So, employability is not solely the responsibility of individuals. All right, it also depends on the efforts of stakeholders, like we discussed. For example, our educational institutions, government agencies, and also businesses. All right, so employers should not just, leave it in the hands of employees. All right, they also have roles to play. So, educational institutions must adapt their curricula to equip students, with the skills demanded by the job market. Government is there to play its role. Employers are also there to play their role. So, with this, we've come to the end of this session. So, the next tomorrow and next we should have um, another round. So, if you have questions, please let's just keep this conversation going in the group, and we'll take it up from there. I want to thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.